Back to breaking news. A Pinellas County deputy shoots and kills a homicide suspect. Very shortly there, you can see the Pinellas County Sheriff approaching the stand for a news conference. If you remember, this is a homicide investigation. 2:30 this morning, officials found an adult woman dead. During the investigation, though, deputies got involved with a shooting with a suspect. The man was killed. No deputies were injured, as we know of at this time. Let's listen in for the latest.
Anybody not ready? Okay. All right, so at about 1:30 this morning, a neighbor here says they heard a gunshot, didn't call law enforcement. At about 2:30 this morning is that Pinellas County Sheriff's Office got a call from a person up in Illinois. And that person told us that a friend of his by the name of John Clark, who lives at 2360 Flanders Way, Apartment A here in Safety Harbor, had called him and told him that he had shot his mother, that she was dead, and that he didn't want to go to jail. The person in Illinois called the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, and we responded out here at about 2:30. When deputies arrived, they were able to make entry into the apartment and found Susan Clark, who is John Clark's mother. She's a white female with a date of birth of 11/4/1954, deceased on the floor in the living room. She had been shot with a shotgun, as it appeared. She was wrapped in blankets and, again, deceased on the floor. The investigation began. Deputies were able to determine that John Clark was not here at this location, but believed, based upon some cell phone information, that he was still in the area. Detectives from the robbery homicide unit, from our violent offender warrant unit, and others arrived and were conducting a briefing and going through the investigative process and looking for John Clark. At about 4:20 or so, Clark was observed driving his mother's car, which is a blue Volkswagen, and he was driving his car here on this road in front of us, and he came southbound. He got down here to the south, made a U-turn, and came back to the north, and then started driving west behind me toward the home that he shared with his mother. Deputies were gathered, conducting a briefing as part of the investigative process when they saw the car and saw that Clark was in the car. They began to yell to him to stop. He continued driving westbound. As he continued westbound, 3 deputies in particular, along with others, came up on the passenger side of the car, and the car was driving very slow. And again, they were giving him orders to stop. They saw that he had a shotgun, and the shotgun was on his lap. They were telling him to drop the gun, stop the car, drop the gun, stop the car. He did neither and continued. At one point, as he continued driving very slowly to the west, he took the shotgun from between his legs and pointed it toward the passenger side window where the deputies were. And at that point, the deputies fired. It was Deputy Brennan Weedy, Deputy Brian Williams, and Deputy Chris Armatruda who fired. And Clark was then removed from the car after he was shot. He was transported to St. Joseph's Hospital in Tampa, where he died. It's, as always in these, it's a preliminary investigation. I'm telling you everything I know as we know it right now. There is some video that we have from the cruisers that show the events. There are a lot of witnesses to it, a lot of law enforcement witnesses to it. We do have a couple of non-law enforcement witnesses we're in the process of interviewing, but everything that I've told you now we know from those witnesses and from the law enforcement witnesses. I'll take any questions you have, but and as far as his history is concerned, from what we can tell, he does not have a criminal history. If he does, it's a very limited one. And some information, it's more anecdotal information from his sister who's in Texas, that he was arrested for some very minor misdemeanor things years ago up in Pensacola, but we can't find anything. There are no prior calls here to this address, nothing in our records management system, nothing in our dispatch system. The sister in Texas says that he did have a drug problem and did have some mental health issues, His mother was trying to get him into treatment. And this is one of those things, unfortunately, that we see play out time and time again, where you have an adult male that has mental health issues, that has drug problems, that has addiction issues. And these things usually, and I'm not saying for sure that it happened here because I don't know, but it's pointing in that direction. The mother was trying to get him help, trying to get him into treatment, and when they start pushing these people and trying to get them into help and treatment, then something happens and they snap and you end up in this type of a situation. So this is what it looks like, but again, that's preliminary, but no criminal history, but there is a history of drug problem, addiction problem, and some mental health issues.
Where did he called a relative?
It's a friend of his. A friend of his lives up in Illinois.
Can you explain to us the time difference between, you said there was a neighbor who heard a gunshot?
Yeah, but he didn't call.
And what time was that?
About 1:30. So that, most likely, and I gave that to you because as this thing sequences out, most likely, and what it appears is that the 1:30 gunshots are when he killed his mother, and then probably stayed in the house for a period of time. Then he calls his friend. He's on the phone with his friend up in Illinois for a while, and then there's a time lag between the time that the friend in Illinois got off the phone and the friend called us. So that accounts for the hour between the gunshots at 1:30 and then the 2:30 call to us when we arrived.
And that wellness check was prompted by that phone call from the friend in Illinois?
Correct. He called us, and because of the statements that Clark had made that he had killed his mother, that he didn't want to go to jail, etc. So that prompted the friend in Illinois to call us.
So if that neighbor would have called, would there have been a possibility of being able to save this woman? Or
no, at that point, it sounds like she was already deceased at that point. I mean, she was shot with a shotgun. The crime scene is still active. We're still in the process of getting into the house. So, but there's, at that point, I mean, she had been shot probably a couple times with a shotgun. So
where was she shot?
I don't know. I can't get into that at this point. I just don't know. We still haven't gotten that far into the crime scene.
When you say cell phone video, you said you were able to determine that Park was still in the area for cell phone information. Is that him contacting people? Is that GPS?
Yeah, it's GPS.
And what were the names of those deputies again?
So Deputy Brennan Weedy, W-E-D-E, Brian Williams, and Chris Armatruda.
Chris what?
Armatruda.
How do you spell his last name?
A-R-M-A-T-U-R-D-A.
When he came back through, driving through, can you talk about how many officers were on scene?
A lot, and it could have been a much worse situation because when he drove up and down the street here and the deputies were here gathered in for their briefing, personnel-wise, there are probably at least 15 here because you had robbery homicide detectives, you had patrol personnel, you had forensics personnel.
You're listening in on Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri giving us an update on the deputy-involved shooting. A homicide suspect is dead after officials say he killed his mother. We'll have more coverage of this coming up on News Channel 8. Stay with us.